Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'm looking at a bladed iron, specifically the Ping Blueprint iron from 2019. Now, a lot of you traditionalists out there will say this isn't a bladed iron because of this screw there. However, all modern day bladed irons nowadays do have some weighting in there to aid forgiveness. It's very difficult to find one that is literally just a lump of metal like they used to be, forged metal. So there is always a little bit more forgiveness in these type of clubs. Still all the workability, still the bladed looks, but not quite a traditional blade. Now, the reason I picked these up is because brand new, these in 2019 cost £1,700 in the UK to buy. I think in the US around $2,000. If you brought a set of these in 2019, do let me know in the comments down below and tell me the price, because I can't find exactly what they are, but I think they're around $2,000. But the price in the second-hand market has dropped rapidly. So if you're an elite ball striker, because you need to be using a set of these, believe me, these could be a great option. If you want to get some newer blades that have that little bit more forgiveness in there, these could be an absolute fantastic option, especially the price they're going on the second-hand market at the moment. And I'll get into that when we go through the ACS Golf Scale at the end of this video. So, like all videos, let's have a closer look at this club. Then we'll come back here, go for the technology that's in there. Not a huge amount, as you would expect, because it is a blade. Get down to the range, throw some figures at you. I took the pitching wedge, the 8-iron and the 6-iron down with me on that day. And then we'll come back here for the ACS Golf Scale and an overall view of my thoughts of this, I'm not going to lie, beauty of the club. All right, let's have a closer look at it. So there you go, a really beautiful looking club there. And I will mention as well, when we're about to go through all the technology that's in here, even on Ping's website that I was just reading just now, it says blade style tour inspired design. So not even Ping are actually calling these blades, even though personally for me, I would say that is a bladed club. But anyway, definitely a modern bladed club. Don't get me wrong, you're traditionalists, some of the old school blades, no, but it's definitely a bladed model, well, modern bladed club for myself. Anyway, now let's get into that technology. So first things first, forged 8620 carbon steel, a 4-step multi-stage process for the one-piece forging, provides very tight dimensional tolerance control, resulting in a true shot maker's iron crafted with precision for precision. There you go. The choice of the 8620 carbon steel combines with a head design that concentrates mass through the impact zone, delivering a pleasing sound and feel. So there you go, all about precision. And that's what you want with these type of clubs. You want that precision. You want it to be consistent. You want to know that, you are that great ball striker. When you hit it in the middle face, which you will be doing, it's going to be coming out exactly the same sort of spin rate, exactly the same sort of distance, exactly the same sort of carry, exactly the same ball flight every single time. Moving on, compact and precise, based on requests from several Ping professionals for blade style iron, size and shape to deliver the ultimate in workability and trajectory control. Blueprint combines a clean, compact head with less offset, a shorter blades length, and a thinner top profile. So there you go. You've got the thin top profile, short blade length. I mean, that's small. That is a small club. I mean, you're looking down and there's not a huge amount of confidence in it, I would say. So narrow sole, a machine tungsten toe screw. There you go, as I mentioned before. So tungsten. I reviewed the Nike Vapor Pro irons a while back, which again they were marketed as blades, and they actually had a tungsten core just in there. So a lot of tungsten in these sort of clubs nowadays to aid with that forgiveness. Even though the Nike actually came out 3 years before this, but anyway, and they don't make clubs anymore as well. Moving on. So machine tungsten screw adds forgiveness, combines with internal heel weight to provide precision swing weight tuning. The narrow sole enables clean turf interaction for consistent strikes from different lies and turf conditions to maximize versatility for playing all types of shot. A Hydro-Peel Chrome 2.0 finish helps ensure solid impact for repelling moisture. So there you go. The idea, you need to get that moisture off the ball. If you're playing with these sort of irons, the ball's wet, that can definitely affect the spin of it and how it's going to turn out. So it's quite cool they've mentioned it there. So machine, face and grooves. So every detail is exactly and carefully calculated. More than 50 steps in the manufacturing process, including precision machining of the face and grooves, are 100% inspected, which I'd expect from a company like Ping. You're dealing with a premium company here, you know, unlike sort of maybe you sort of more budgets out there who do release blades every now and again, or blade like irons like this. This is very much Ping. They're going to be really, really good condition. And one thing I love about Ping as well, you have your serial number there, and you can actually get in contact with them just to make sure that what you've got is real, which I think is a really good touch. Now, people actually played with these at the time. Tony Finau actually played with these, and I'll just read you what he said about it. So I put them in the bag. I put them in play immediately once they arrived. Said Ping Pro Tony Finau. They're workable, incredibly versatile, and feel great. There isn't a single shot I can't hit with them, which gives me a lot of confidence in pressure situations. The look at address is also perfect. The size and shape really fit my eyes. So there you go. So sharpening, they say here shaft and grip. Standard shaft is Dynamic Gold 120. So again, really good shaft in there, offering a low trajectory, low spin and torque caliber accuracy in a low weighted steel. So there you go. The whole point, if you got these clubs, you're getting it in the air yourself. But not just that, these are traditional lofted, being the type of clubs they are. So you don't need a shaft that's going to help get it in the air either, to be fair, because it will just balloon. I mean, I hit these, like I said, I took them down the golf course and I tend to really come down on the ball. I don't really get it up there in the air that well. And I was getting some really good, really good numbers when it came down to launch with these. So really happy with them. So there you go. Now, one thing that I thought was really cool about this. Now, obviously with Ping, you have your dots here. So you still had this. So this one's black dot, so normal lie, so standard lie, but then you get your blue, which is one up, I believe, etc., etc. So you can get fitted for these perfectly, change the line angle. But they changed the lofts. So you could get these in 3 different types of loft. So you had the normal loft where you had a 2 iron, 17.5 degrees, 3 iron, 20 degrees, 4 iron, 23.5 degrees, 5 iron 27 degrees, 6 iron 30.5 degrees, 7 iron 34.0 degrees, 8 iron 38 degrees, 9 iron 42 degrees, and pitching wedge at 46 degrees. Very much your modern type of sort of these type bladed type irons, definitely what you'd expect from this type of club. 7 iron 34, exactly at pitching wedge 46, exactly where I'd expect it to be fair. However, they do a power spec loft. So 2 iron's the same, 3 iron is 1 degree stronger, so 19. 4 iron is 22 degrees, so 1.5 degrees stronger. 5 iron is 25 degrees, so 7 degrees stronger. 6 iron is 28.5 degrees. Sorry, 5 iron is 27 degrees. Sorry, 25 degrees. Yeah, here we go. 25 degrees rather than 27, so 2 degrees stronger. 6 iron is 28.5 degrees, so 2 degrees stronger than the normal. 7 iron 32 degrees, 8 iron 36 degrees, 9 iron 40.5 degrees, and pitching wedge 45 degrees. So they actually jack the lofts up. So in the sort of longer clubs, it's only about 1.5, and again down to the wedges and the lower end, it's about sort of 1.5, 1 degree. But then in the middle of the bag, it's actually 2 degrees. So it really helps to get a bit more distance if you wanted that, which I thought was really cool, to have that power spec loft. And then they even had a retro spec loft, which is just really old school. Expect exactly what you'd expect from older blade irons. 2 iron 18.8 degrees, 3 iron 21.8 degrees, 4 iron 25.3 degrees, 5 iron 28.8 degrees. I mean, that 5 iron there is most modern sort of, game improvement irons. That's a 7 iron, which is insane. 6 iron 32.3 degrees, 7 iron 36 degrees, 8 iron 40 degrees, 9 iron 44 degrees, and pitching wedge 48 degrees. So really cool that they gave that option there. So you had those 3 options. You had the standard, you had your sort of power spec, and you had your retro fit, which I thought was really cool that you could go and say, look, I want to get this and I want to get that, which does make it, you need to be a little bit careful when you buy these to make sure that you get the right one for you. So do be aware of that. Now, so there is all the technology that's in this club. Let's get down to the range. I'm going to throw some figures at you for the pitching wedge, the 8 iron, and the 6 iron, and then we're going to come back here and go through the ACS golf scale. All right, let's see how I did with these clubs.
So here I am down at the range with the pitching wedge, the 8 iron and the 6 iron. Let's jump straight into those figures. So with the pitching wedge, I had a flat carry of 116 yards, total distance 121 yards, ball speed 89 miles per hour, launch angle 27 degrees and a height 64. Moving on to the 8 iron, had a flat carry of 144 yards, total distance 149 total yards, ball speed 106 miles per hour, launch angle 22 degrees, height 76. And then with the 6 iron, we had a total carry of 154 yards, total distance of 169 yards, ball speed 112 miles per hour, launch angle 17 and height 60. So really easy to get these clubs in the air, as you'd expect with these more traditional lofts. Also very happy with those distances, to be honest, very much near exactly what I'd expect for my sort of players distance irons that I use. However, I will add there was a little bit of a headwind with me that definitely did help get the ball a little bit further out than I would normally expect. But overall, really had fun hitting these and was very, very consistent with them. I mean, even with the 6 iron, all the shots I hit I was around that sort of 74% consistency, which for my level is absolutely perfect. I'd be really, really happy with that for that longer club. And it was the same thing when it came down to the 8 and the pitching wedge as well, especially the pitching wedge, which you want. There was a few, if I really went for it, I could get the distance up a little bit more, but overall, just very, very happy with the performance. And also being able to move the ball easily as well. If I wanted to, I could definitely do with these clubs because, well, that's what they're built for.
So there you go, some actually really good figures. Pitching wedge on average 121 yards total distance, 8 iron 149 yards total distance, 6 iron 169 yards total distance. Pretty much what I'd want from my players' distance iron. So it's quite confusing. I managed to get that. I will say I did have a bit of a headwind with me when I was out there actually hitting these. So I definitely think that affected the results, giving maybe a little bit more distance than I expected, but nothing too hectic, to be fair. It wasn't the strongest of winds when I was testing these. So I'm still quite surprised by those figures. Found it was really easy to get some decent distance out of these, which I'm surprised by. Normally when I try these type of, sort of bladed irons, normally they only go sort of, I'd say, that 150 mark from a 7 iron if I was using it, or for the 6 iron, for example, 160. So was getting a little bit more distance than I was expecting, but as I mentioned, could have been down a little bit to the wind. And I will mention that when we get down to the ACS golf scale. I will say as well, these are just the normal ones down to loft. They're not the power lofts and they're not the retro lofts either. But overall, really, really happy with them. When I struck them really well, really enjoyed them. I had that one moment where I was like, I'm getting some really good figures with these. Maybe I should be playing with blade irons. Definitely not. Take them out on the golf course and then realize, no, I'm not a scratch golfer. Don't get me wrong, I am a single figure handicap 8.2, but I'm not a scratch golfer. I mean, you've seen my swing. So a long way to go before I get to that. Anyway, let's go through the ACS golf scale right now then. So remember, we've got distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the worst, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Always get them muddled up. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Okay, distance. Now, yes, these were going the same distance I'd expect my players' distance irons to go, but I think with that wind, I think if you put me on the golf course, I don't think I'd get those figures. And that's one thing I always suggest to you. If you try a club on the range, get it out on the course because there's always going to be some differences there. Always is. So again at 2.5 out of 5. That's not bad. 2.5 out of 5, to be honest. I was thinking more this was going to be a 2 when it came down to a blade, because I look at my averages as sort of place distance sort of club. So I thought it was going to be less than that, which isn't a problem, because if you're using this type of club, you're not looking for help with distance, you're looking for workability, and you've probably got the swing on it. You don't need the help with distance anyway. You want that control and that precision. So distance isn't really a factor when you look at these clubs, but you do have that power loft there if you do need it. So distance 2.5 out of 5. I think if I had the power spec ones, I think it would be a 3 out of 5. I think if I had the retro, it would be a 2. So 2.5 out of 5 for these ones is very fair. Feel 4.5 out of 5. As you'd expect, lovely, buttery soft out the middle. When you just miss the middle, so obviously because there is quite a small sweet spot on these clubs, it just feels a lot harder. Doesn't necessarily feel bad, but just a little bit harder. I mean, there was no shots I hit, and I was like, that's really stung my hands, which can happen with these type of clubs. You know, you have a bad hit, you sort of get all the vibrations that come up the club, and it really hurts. Never had that with these, to be fair, but definitely a lot harder feel when you missed the middle of the club. Middle of the club, fantastic. Outside's a little bit harder, but still 4.5 out of 5 out of the middle. So I wouldn't say it was the best feeling blade I've ever tried, to be honest, or blade type iron I've ever tried, but still really, really nice. And that's why it's got a 4.5 out of 5. Sound wise as well, felt really solid. The sound, really enjoyed the sound of these actually, to be fair. Going to looks, I've given this a 3.5 out of 5. I think it looks lovely. I really do. You know, the blueprint there, the ping, everything like that. But I think it's just because it's such a small head for me. That's why I've knocked off a few marks for looks, because when I'm looking down at this, I don't have don't have any confidence in it, to be fair. However, even though it performed really, really well, you know, if I suddenly I got to hit a 5-iron 180 yards over a lake, and I've got something this small in my hands, oh, my knees would be shaking. So 3.5 out of 5 for the looks. But it isn't a bad looking club. But is it like a Mizuno blade looks wise? I don't think it is. Well, a modern Mizuno blade looks wise, no. So 3.5 out of 5. Moving on to forgiveness. Forgiveness 2 out of 5, which isn't bad for this type of club. You know, with that tungsten weight there, it definitely helps. But you need to be a precision striker of the ball to use this and really get the benefits out of it. Like I said, I was striking it really well on the day, but still, let's be honest, with the 6-iron, I was very consistent across the pitching wedge and the 8-iron. And even with the 6-iron, I was consistent with the ball flight, but not necessarily distance. You know, the longest I had was 177 yards, the shortest was 162 yards. That's quite a big gap there, you know. And if I put a really bad swing on it, I know that it's not going to go anywhere. So 2 out of 5 for forgiveness. Don't think there's loads of forgiveness in this club, but it's not supposed to be. It really isn't supposed to be. Talking about sort of forgiveness as well, workability is obviously amazing. You know, if I wanted to draw it, easy. If I wanted to fade it, easy. You know, very easy to do a baby fade. You know, so I draw. It is a very easy club to work with, and that's the whole point of it. You know, sometimes with your your game improvement irons, if you want to put a fade on it, when it's sort of, for me, normally my normal shot is a draw. At the moment, it's a bit of a baby fade. I don't know exactly what's happened there. Definitely another lesson on the cards in the future, to get it back to that draw. But it did have that beautiful little fade that I'm doing at the moment rather than the draw. But if I needed to really put a draw on it, I could get it. And normally for me, when I am drawing the ball well, if I got game improvement iron, I can struggle to shift it to a fade if needed. So great workability as well. I just thought it was needed to be mentioned with this card because it really is. Now on to price. So price, I've given this a 3.5 out of 5. I think the price for this is pretty damn good, especially the fact it was £1,700. But then you could say, was it overpriced in the first place? So online, pitching for the pitching wedge, you're looking at £374 on eBay, so around $470. 6 a pitching wedge, about £300, which is about, $380. If you're looking on Golf Bidder, you're looking around £417, about $520. Golf Bidder, by the way, is a second-hand market shop over here in the UK. And then obviously better condition, you're looking sort of like £475, sort of $600. So I think 3.5 is very good for it. I think it, compared to the original price, I think it is. It's not necessarily a bargain. Remember, this is 5 years old now, and you're going to find it difficult to find one in really tip-top condition because it is forged. They're going to get bashed in the bag, and the people are going to be buying these clubs. Originally, they're just, they're going to be hitting the middle of the face a lot. So it's going to be a lot of wear marks, as there was on this, to be fair. Not the end of the world, but there was some wear marks on this. Also, you've got other options out there. The Wilson Staff model blades, which are gorgeous, gorgeous. You can pick them up for roughly the same price. P730s, which are blade like iron as well, pick that up for the same price. So there's other options out there. But 3.5 out of 5, I think the price for these is very good for what they are, especially the original price on them, even though they might have been overpriced when they first came out. So 3.5 out of 5 for them. Okay, so overall, what do I think of the Ping Blueprint? Blade-like irons, taking back what I originally said at the beginning of this video, but blade-like irons, I think they're great. I really do. I had a lot of fun hitting them. I got on with them really well. I think if you're that more, consistent ball striker, really wants a blade like iron like this with a little bit more forgiveness in it, it's a great iron. Very consistent, easy to sort of shape that shot that you want, and there's just enough forgiveness for you to get away with slight off hits from the center. So overall, the Ping Blueprint iron is a great, great club, as I'd expect from the makers of Ping. They are very good at what they do. Even though it's gone really well, will it be going in my bag? No, because as I mentioned, that 5-iron issue I mentioned earlier, and also I can't imagine me doing any good with these in the middle of winter in the UK when my swing gets even worse because I'm wearing about 100 layers and I can't move. So there you go. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Ping Blueprint irons. Do give it a like if you did. Remember to subscribe to the channel for weekly ACS golf reviews and a few other extra videos in there as well. And comment down below, have you played the Ping Blueprint irons? Do you play yourself sort of that, as they say, blade type or even blade iron? Let me know, because they are a lot of fun. If you can hit them, they're such good clubs to hit. Anyway, I'll see you soon for the next ACS golf video. See you then. Bye-bye.